Hello folks, doing a build today. It's not going to be a full build. It's going to be quite a run through build. We've got lots of new bits and pieces to build. One of our supporters, YouTube watchers, fans of Project Reboot, shall I say, has bought a whole lot of new parts, and he wants us to do the build for him. So we're going to have a quick run through, and we'll get the build going. So first we have an MSI MEG Z370 ACE. This is Z390, yep. We've got a chip, which is a Core i7 8th Gen 8700. There it is. Oh, massive great, what is it? It's an AeroCool P7, oh no, that's a power supply. P7 850 watt power supply. I presume that's fully modular, not sure yet. The cooler, we've got a Noctua NH-D15. What else? We've got a GeForce GTX 1060. I know what you're thinking, YouTubers. That's not a gamer's rig. It's not a gamer's rig, no. It's not intended to be a gamer's rig. This might explain some of it. It's a Soundblaster ZXR. That'll be interesting, one of them in there. This is for a music buff, an audio file. Dare I say audio file? Yeah, there we go. And this is a, what is it? It's a Game Max Silent ATX gaming case. So me and Bert, oh, what else we got? Samsung 970 Evo NVMe M.2, 2 terabytes. We've got 1 terabyte storage. We've got a Crucial MX500, and I don't know what that is. That's a Samsung MZ, oh, I can't see that, 76E something. Adapter, not sure we'll need that. Anything else, Burns?
The vital thing that you missed out for the motherboard.
What did I miss out? Oh! Simon's RAM. Do not use.
That's the sticker for us.
That's a sticker for us. Come on, get it in focus, Nige. Oh, I can't do that. Well, here's the motherboard in its nakedness. There we are. That's a Z390 motherboard.
That's the highest spec motherboard we've had so far.
It is indeed. A rarity in the workshop. Okay, so we're putting the i7 8700 into the socket on the LGA 1150. Oh, what is it? 51? I know. 1151 socket, I think. Right, down here then, Steve?
Yep.
I'm going to remove that. There it is. There's your pins.
We could do a bit of music playing now.
I'll
Under pressure.
put the dramatic music in the background. Right, now, there are little tabs. There's a little tab here and a little tab on that side. And that lines up with our 2 little notches here and here. So that's the orientation. And we carefully, gently drop it in. Crunch the bracket down. Safe. We're safe, Steve.
Cool.
Yes. Right, that is the most critical part of this build. Putting that chip onto the motherboard. If you get that wrong, hasta la vista, baby. Right, so that's that done. Good, we're rocking. So Bernie, have a look there, Steve. Bernie is having a look at the Noctua
Right, there's your destruction.
air cooler. So we're going to put the back plate on and fix the cooler when it's outside the case. We think it probably might be a little bit easier. So I'll show you, I won't put it in now. So essentially what you do is you socket.
Well, you also got.
So the heatsink comes with a tube of Noctua NH-D15, which is premium grade thermal compound. That goes in between the top of the chip and the. Let's hold the heatsink up then, Steve, can we? Let's have a look at the bottom of that. Up she goes. There it is. Oh, it's nice and shiny, isn't it? Almost. Oh, brilliant. My first concern is that the cooler, being such a big tower, is it going to fit in the case? Probably, but it's worth asking the question.
I got there in the end.
If we can figure out how to open it up, we'll check.
Is that a filter?
Okay, so what we're going to do is measure, just to measure how tall the heatsink is. And the heatsink is, well, to the top of the pipes, it's about 160 millimeters off the deck.
I'd say it's a bit taller than that, actually.
Fan, I think is what you want.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go to here. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
fan.
It's 165.
165, all right.
Oh.
165. So the distance, if we can get in here, Steve, to the top of one of the pins,
Go to that one there. Then you got that edge there, then, haven't you?
to the offsets, that's 180. So that's leaving 15 mil plus the height of the motherboard. 15 mil.
It's going to be close.
I don't know,
isn't
it's going to be close.
it? Yeah.
Is there any, does the panel jut out a bit? It doesn't, does it?
No.
So on me then, Steve, that is going to be touch and go. We just got to go for it, really, I suppose. So we're going to put the heatsink onto the motherboard, and then I think we can offer it up. The Noctua cooler, if you come down here, Steve, you'll see I've put the back plate on, and I'm putting these brackets. These are with spacers on them. They go on there like that. I'm not sure if it's that way or it's that way. Does it make any difference? Doesn't say. But it does clear the chips or the capacitors.
On the bottom picture, on the middle row.
Yeah.
You can
You choose the alignment of the mounting bars according to the desired final orientation of the cooler. Ooh. Right. Ooh. Could you pass the cooler over, please, then, Burns, and we'll just
Because you can talk about airflow now, can't you?
yeah.
Watch your back.
Now, if it goes that way, the airflow is going upwards. Airflow is going upwards, that way, because the fan orientation is going that way. If it goes that way, then it's going to go backwards. So do we want it up? I think we want it up then, don't we? Are we having top fans on here or no fans? Did you buy any fans?
I didn't bring any.
Okay.
If you have some, I'll buy some off you.
We got these two blue fans that Jack.
The fan has to come out of the middle of the cooler to be able to access the securing screws there. Right, cooler going on. So we decided that the airflow will go upwards. So that goes on something like that.
Are you just rough fitting it for now? Just to make sure everything fits in the in the case, are you, Nige?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to go like that. And the orientation will go upwards, that way, which is that way. Right. Well, we're going to install the memory first, and according to this, DIMM A2 and DIMM B2 are the first slots, and that makes that one and this one. Memory is in. There we are. Focus if you can. All right, so we're going to put a bit of thermal paste on now on the chip. Let's just give that a squeeze out. Sometimes a little bit of silicone comes out with it. Right. Let's put a. Now, I'm going to put a little bit more than necessary, I think, just to be on the safe side.
Before you put the cooler on, I want to give the base a wipe with isopropyl.
There we are. That's I think that's a sufficient splodge. What do you think, folks? Okay, cooler on. There we are. That was easy. Things are going all right, guys.
Yep.
2 red shirts today.
Because we're cool.
Flash.
Ah.
The memory's in, heatsink's on. I think what we could do now is just offer it up, just to see how we get on in the case. Right. Oh, it's heavy. If you're enjoying watching this build come together today and you want to see more builds, subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like. Check out our Facebook page, there it is right there. Leave some comments in the section below. Always good to hear from where you are in the world. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to need more stand-offs.
Oh, okay.
Because they're hanging off the edge at the moment.
Yeah, that's clear.
Are we there?
Yeah, looks
Right, so we
pretty
need
much
stand-offs 1, 2, 3 here. We need these 3 holes here added. The motherboard is in the case. We put the orientation going upwards. This is the top of the case. Now we're just debating whether we can squeeze a couple of fans in the top, because ideally we'd like to have 2 fans in there. If we can't get fans in there, then we're going to have to swap this 90 degrees so it's going that way. So we're just having a bit of a consideration here, because it's very tight down there. We need to get the CPU the CPU power header in there somewhere. Well, change of plan. We rotated the fan heatsink 90 degrees now, because there simply wasn't enough room down the side to be able to get 2 fans in there and the other orientation, and to get the essentially to get the I can't even see it down there. It's so down there, the motherboard and CPU fan header. So there we are. But now I think it's time to put the 970 Evo in the N.2 slot. It's an NVMe drive, so down here, Simon, in here. Just going to remove that bit of oh, not sure that's supposed to, well, that's probably the heatsink. Right, so that's going to go on, that's a little bit of heatsink, I think. Not sure if that's supposed to come off. Right, so this little top plate's coming off. That'll expose the M.2 slot. Right, so here is the NVMe drive. It's got a single slot there, and that's going in. So we just need to remove this this bit of paste. Yeah, so right, the slot goes in. That's the top thermal compound. It's a little heat pad. So this is going in here. Are we on focus there, Simon?
Yes.
Okay. In there. That's all right. It's a bit temperamental. Like that. Right. So heatsink goes on there. And then that screws down. So the M.2 is in. There was a spare bit of thermal strip, I guess, in case we muck up, or that's for one of the other slots. Power supply is in. Connectors are all pretty much connected up. We need to put the graphics card in now. So I think we'll leave that to Bernie to do. What are we going to do, Bernie?
Offer it up.
All right. Right, this card is a GTX
1060, 6GB.
Asus 1060. Right. Do the honours then, Bernie. That was a nice crunch, wasn't it? I think that looks okay. We're at the point where it's all assembled. Power supply's in, graphics card in, memory, CPU, everything's else all connected up. So we're going to go for a first turn on, see if we can go into the BIOS now. Very excited. Oh, we've got some lights on. That's a good sign. Lights on the motherboard. Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
press F1.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Rock and roll, Daddy-O.
Right, so it says the i7-8700 CPU running at 3.2 gigasplits. Memory size is 32.
All right, yes. 32 gigs, two 16 gig sticks. Ooh. So the DDR3 we need to probably XMP on this.
DDR4 even.
Sorry. Oh yeah. DDR4. Shows how much DDR4 we get in, doesn't it? So it's set to legacy at the moment, Burns, I notice.
Yes.
So we'll change that. We need to set XMP, I think. Now, XMP is... okay, so if you're not familiar with this is DDR4 3200 megahertz memory. The memory is currently running at 2133. That's the stock. So these BIOSes allow you to use something called XMP, which is Extreme Memory Profile, and that allows you to boost the memory up to, in this case, 3200 megahertz. Go on then, Bernie. Right, we probably want to do a restart now. Is it on? Yeah, do
Oh, is it F10 normally, isn't it?
probably just hit the X mark and it'll probably say, do you want to... There we go. So it's saying that the extreme memory profile is enabled. Yes. Doing a restart.
No, it's...
There we are, folks. Now running at 3200 megahertz. So XMP has enabled. We just need to switch into UEFI, do a few features, and then we can start installing. Is it recognise the NVMe drive, Burns?
Right, let's go hardware monitor, maybe. No, Board Explorer.
Oh.
Right, Board Explorer, so that says it's an 1151 socket, i7-8700, which
Ooh.
is what we know we've got. There's our RAM.
Yeah.
There's our graphics card, so it knows it's an NVIDIA graphics card. Down here is our M.2.
God, 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe. Proper job. Windows is going on nicely. Everything is running satisfactorily. Need to reroute this back fan. It's connected to a front panel header that requires a Molex, and I just think we'll go directly onto the motherboard for that one. Bernie is just sorting out some NVIDIA drivers so we can do a direct install on that one instead of connecting to the internet. We've probably got it already downloaded. Right, Windows has successfully installed. We have an opportunity to run a benchmark on the GTX 1060 and the i7 8700 using Cinebench, and as well as what do we use? Heaven. Here we go then. We've got a Heaven score on the Asus GTX 1066 gigs. Scored a very respectable 131, which is very, very good. I'm impressed with that. Thought we'd use a benchmark on here. We've got an absolute beast. Gaming, aircraft carrier 82%, desktop 142% UFO, workstation 116%. That is jolly good. Alright, let's see what else we got then, Burns. Oh, performing above expectation. Look, it's almost on the end. Card. Performing above expectations. 6 gig GTX 1060. What's me splattings? Me splatting 169 splats. There we go, folks. How's our NVM? It's performing as expected. The reason why it's performing as expected is because the Samsung 970 is it's a common driver. It's had a lot of benchmarks done on it, and therefore it is within its parameters, really.
300% outstanding.
Yeah. So it's average 300% outstanding against all the other drives. There we are, folks. So that is a basic build done today. Alright, okay, so day 2 has arrived. We're now going to fit the, what is it? It's a Creative Soundblaster ZXR. I don't know what it is. I've never seen one before. So we're going to do a bit of an unboxing now. And we get on and we'll finish the build with a fair wind. So a box within a box. I'll zoom in on that one. And a whole pack of it's a thingy. I don't know what it is.
It's a widget.
I don't know what it is.
It's a widget. I shan't go there.
And this is a gadget in a box. Right, here we go, folks. Here we go. Yeah. Well, one thing is happening here is we're learning things. Here we go. Oh, we've got 2 things in here. Right. It's a audio card. It's a PCI Express 1 slot with connections on it. That's one. Oh, there's a sister card in here as well. This is, look at that. That's just like, I don't know. It's, it fits into a card slot, but it hasn't actually got any things on the bottom. What do you think, folks? Okay, the card and the sister card joined together. There's two pin connectors on here with this ribbon, so it's a bit like an SLI bridge or crossfire bridge to connect both these two things together. That'll be interesting. So we're just doing some updates on the PC, and then this will be going in imminently. Okay, here is the card. So that's going in a PCI slot. So probably above the, we've got two, haven't we? Maybe above the M.2 card. I presume this can also go in a PCI 16, but I'm going to put it in a PCI Express 1 slot to give a little bit more space for the card.
Screws and a bit of glue.
Oh, I used to go to LAN parties. Okay, right, what are we doing then, Nige? We're sticking this thing in. Right, that is going in there. Oh, I've got to take the plates out, haven't I? There we are. Take those out, Nige. Right. So that goes in there. Like that. And this, as I say, it hasn't actually got any a slot on it. It's simply occupies a space in there, like that. Like that. Well, there it is, folks. There is the Soundblaster pair in there. It just sort of, I mean, it just sort of just sits there, really. There's no slot to go in. It's looking for the drivers, so it appears to have found them. Whether it's the right ones, I'm sure it is. Thank you, Windows. 30 seconds later, the Soundblaster drivers appear to have installed correctly. So it looks like all that in there is all working. We're nearly done. Alright folks, that's all come together quite well. That is the full build done now. Everything's in there. Just need to do a little bit of cable management, and then we're done. It goes back to the customer. Customer's very happy. Thank you for bringing all this lot in. Thanks for watching. Join us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Give us a like if you've liked this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.